These knives start out, some of these knives start out, I forget what this one is, but I've got a Henckels over there. Henckels is probably about the best high carbon Soligen German steel you can get. And that one particular knife I have that I use is about a $120 knife to start out with, and then you put it in a vise and score it and then snap the end off. And the cutlery people just cringe when you tell them that that's what you're going to do. And then they go through a belt on a belt sander. Because they're so thick, we take them down, thin them down so that you can sharpen them. And this sign knife is tapered on one side and flat on the other, so when you pull it, it just comes through the wood in the right place. You never have to guide it, it'll just make a straight cut. But this knife we're using to make that receiving slot for the graft, and it's sharpened the same on both sides, but this one needs to go on a belt sander. I can see that now. I don't know if I can take this out with a stone, but anyway, after they go on the belt sander, then they go through a series of stones. And after you've been hauled off, when you're a young man starting out in this business, and after you've been hauled off to the emergency room a few times and get sewed up, usually you cut yourself sharpening the knife because it'll slip off the stone. Well, you learn to keep your digits out of the way. And after it goes through both sides of this stone, it may look like I'm just working this back and forth, but I'm not. I'm pulling into the stone each time. Actually applying pressure as I'm going into that stone. And then another stone here somewhere, must be, let me grab it out of the toolbox here. This stone is a razor hone. I buy these stones, I used to buy these stones from a barber supply company, and I can't get any more of them. It's a synthetic stone, and I bought them from a company in Moravia, Iowa. And it's a synthetic stone, and it was made, the lady was in her 80s that made these stones, and she had the formula in her head and never wrote it down, and she died, and it's lost forever. But these are the stones that the barber would use at one time. This is the very final edge. Anyway, the barber would use these on a razor, a straight razor, back in the day. And now I'm just cleaning off that final edge, taking any little burrs that might be on there from the other stones. Actually, I do have a razor strop as well. If you were to look at this edge of this knife under a microscope, you would see that it's not straight. It's just little tiny, itty bitty little jagged edges. And that razor strap, when you strap that is to line those edges. And you can actually, well, we do it with this stone, we'll put a little bite. We'll do a little less sharpening, a little more on one side, do on the other, and causes that to pull into the wood. We call that giving it some bite, so it bites the wood. This one I'm going to make them pretty even on the same side. I could do a whole series on building and sharpening knives, a whole video series on that, but I'm not going to do it today because I've got too much to do. Alright, thanks for watching. Later.